The Sims 5. Is it coming? Where is it? On the assumption that The Sims 5 is coming at some point, I've decided to put together a little video to go over what I personally would like to see in The Sims 5. Before we get into it, I just want to put it out there that this is just my opinion. I'm sure there are things that I want that you probably don't, and thankfully for you, I'm not in any position of power in The Sims, so this is just a bit of fun. In order to compile the list of things that I want in The Sims 5, I've taken a look at what we have in the Sims games up until now and basically made a list of yes please and no thank you elements. I'm not going to be talking too much about expansion packs because honestly I think if The Sims 4 has taught us anything, it's that the base game has to be done right first. So let's break it down, starting with the worlds. So in all of the Sims games up until The Sims 4, the worlds were large, customizable open spaces that you could move around before entering a build. The Sims 4 took a different approach and instead had a still image of the world with far fewer lots to build on. Now, I don't necessarily think that The Sims 4 is much worse than the other games, and I think it's great that they took a chance and tried something new. I just personally prefer the way that the worlds are in the earlier games. So in The Sims 5, maybe let's take a step back and have a large customizable world again. Controversial opinion, not that fussed about not having an open world. I would like open districts though. So your sim can move around freely in an area of maybe like 5 lots without loading screens, and then that way the loading screens are just for districts rather than every single lot. Don't get me wrong, I did like the novelty of an open world in The Sims 3, but I feel like the only way they really managed to make it work was to just have loads of rabbit holes. And I'm not really about that life, although I will come back to that. Of course, how can we talk about worlds without talking about lots? So usually with expansion packs we get new lot types added, but there does need to be a good enough selection of lot types in the base game before we even start thinking about expansions. So obviously there should be residential, but then I think we also need a grocery store, which would involve a grocery shopping element, plus a graveyard, a pub, a nightclub. I would say restaurant, but I know that that just wouldn't happen with the base game. And then also the standard ones that you would expect, like a park, pool, library, gym. And I wouldn't mind a couple of rabbit holes, like a school or maybe a town hall, perhaps even an airport, just to make the world feel a bit more complete, you know? So now moving on to the Sims themselves. In terms of Creator Sim, my personal favourite is The Sims 4. I think the tools are easier to use. I prefer being able to just drag and grab different areas of my sim to manipulate. I do think colour wheels would be useful for skin tones and hair colours, but other than that, I don't think it needs to be extended to clothing or anything like that. I don't think creator style needs to make a comeback anytime soon. I'm intrigued to see how Creator Sim will be in The Sims 5. I've heard some hearsay about EA looking into using Unreal Engine for Sims, but I guess we'll see. I personally am completely fine with having cartoony looking Sims. I'm not overly fussed about having super realistic looking Sims, but you never know, I might change my mind if they actually go down that route. Whatever they look like, I think there needs to be a step up in terms of traits and lifetime aspirations. There needs to be more of them and they need to mean something. Maybe take note from The Sims 3. The base game usually costs around $40, so I think having meaningfulness in traits is completely justified by the price. The Sims 4 base game is worth the sale price of $5. That's it. You can't tell me that the game is worth more than that, especially when it first came out. So if this game is going to be priced at around the $40 mark, it should be worth that. Okay, so moving on to gameplay. So I'm not going to go all in with what exactly I think every part of gameplay should be, but I do want to talk about just a few gameplay elements that are important to me. For example, their behaviour. So when it comes to behaviour, I think So The Sims 4 played a lot on emotions, and I think what they should do is take the emotions and completely fuck them off. Don't even worry about it, mate. Keep them. I don't want my Sims to tell me how they're feeling. I don't want them to feel. I want them to do. I've already had my rant about the emotions in The Sims 4, but basically my beef with it is that the emotions don't always make sense, and they basically get in the way of you being able to do what you want. If my Sim happens to become sad over something that I can't control, I can kiss goodbye to getting them to do anything until they get over it, which could take days. I'm really not sure how they can continue to have emotions whilst not disrupting the gameplay for the player, but you won't be seeing any tears from me if they completely bin them off. I'd rather give up on emotions and focus on better things like wants and fears, likes and dislikes, and memories. Speaking of memories, I would like to see these become a huge part of gameplay in The Sims 5. I like to see my progress, and since The Sims is a sandbox game, the only progress are the choices that you've made for your Sims, and I want to look back and see those choices I made for each individual Sim. I want to spend a few hours playing with one of my Sims, leave them for a few weeks, and then when I see them again, I want to be able to look through their memories and pick up from where we left off. The Sims 4 and The Sims 3 really missed a trick here. If I was only allowed one thing, it would 100% be the memories. Not a scrapbook, not an emotion-based system, but the actual memories like they were in The Sims 2. Emotions turn Sims into clones. Memories make them unique. It's an essential when it comes to storytelling, and I think that goes hand in hand with The Sims. When you think about the type of things that we can do nowadays, like with the gallery and save files, just imagine in The Sims 5, come with me here, imagine creating a world with Sims who have memories and then sharing a save file. You could literally create stories for other players, mysteries to uncover by visiting houses and looking at memories. Memories is one of the big reasons why The Sims 2 was able to convey such lore in that game. Looking through their memories was how you gain the information of the story. It would take sharing creations to a whole new level if you could share stories too, and I think that would be possible with proper memories. Better life stages is also a big one. Sadly, The Sims seems to be moving more and more into a direction of being a game catered towards just the young adult and adult life stage. As a family gameplay simmer, I find this pretty disappointing, and I really hope things change with The Sims 5. We need proper babies, not objects. Toddlers should crawl and need to be taught to walk and babble before they're taught to talk, and elders should have more gameplay specific to their life stage. Give them walking sticks, give them a want to read to their grandkids, do something with them. So those are some of the main things I'd like to see in The Sims 5. This last section of the video is just a cluster of a few things I would and would not like to see in The Sims 5 based on the previous games. Things I would like to see. I think cars should make a return. It's more realistic, and it even opens up doors for future DLC, which means maybe a bit more money in your pocket, and I know you love that, EA, you cheeky thing. The gallery. This works well, and it's a great way to share creations without faffing around outside of the game. The lore. Wouldn't it be amazing if at least some Sims knew their neighbours? Or better yet, if we got the next chapter of the Bella Goth mystery you started and then gave up on? It's never too late. And then just a couple of things that I don't want to see in The Sims 5. Please no microtransactions. It ruined The Sims 3 for me, and hopefully a lesson has been learnt. Please don't do that again. Online/multiplayer gameplay. I'm definitely open to a multiplayer version of The Sims, but not for The Sims to become multiplayer. I think the players should get to decide whether they want to play The Sims that way or not. And lastly, no DLC for DLC, i.e. My First Pet stuff. It's just not a good look, and it pisses off the people who have been supporting the game. So that's a few things I'd like to see in The Sims 5. I'm sure whatever they come up with, it'll be interesting. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of these suggestions, or if there are things that I haven't mentioned. I'd love to know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. You know I love it when you do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.